I think if you're going to educate gardeners online, you should be required to take a 100-point test to make sure that you actually know what you're talking about. This is Hot Takes from the Garden. Let's go. Now, I want to start off by saying that I am not saying that a beginning gardener does not know anything. I'm simply saying that beginning gardeners, or any gardener for that matter, should be required to take a simple 100-point test that covers all aspects of gardening based on true, unrefutable facts and evidence that can be, that can be backed by science, that can be demonstrated, that can actually show that the person that's giving information knows what they're talking about. Now, I'm also not ruling out the fact that young me probably should have taken this test. So I am not immune to the fact that my first videos out on YouTube, I knew a lot, and I was a nerdy garden-loving kid, which was great. But even myself, I have removed probably about 10 to 12 videos over the past couple years, as I've not only learned that what I was saying was false, but learned that what I was saying was actually completely blown out of my rear end and not based in fact whatsoever. And you say things that maybe are well-intentioning, but what you don't realize is that when eyeballs see that content or see that information, you can be actually giving someone wrong information or causing them to garden in a way that is setting themselves up for failure. And I see this all the time. Most of the time I see it on Facebook groups though. Now, where this hot takes originated from was I was on Facebook. I will jump onto different gardening groups because I like to help people when possible. When I got some free time, you'll often find me in some gardening groups answering gardening questions. That's what I do. I do it as kind of a service to the community to help people out. But it's so often times where I've seen someone asking a question and I will see 10 or 20 results. And I always hope when I see the question pop up that maybe I'm the first one to answer, because if I don't know it, that's fine, I'll pass. But there's generally not a gardening question that I haven't seen or come across in the past 16 years of doing this that I can't at least answer with some degree of certainty that it's going to be at least accurate. And I'm not saying I'm the end-all be-all of information. I'm not putting myself up on a pedestal. There's plenty of times where I'll have to pass on a question because I just don't know the answer. But there's a lot of times from beginning gardeners, very fundamental questions, basic questions. And the responses that I see when I'm not immediately there to answer, and I see 10 or 20 other people have already answered, my heart just breaks for all of the misinformation that's being spread by people that are well-intentioning, but just have never had to actually be, they just think, oh, I'm gonna help. And it's no different than if you were dining at a Michelin star restaurant and all of a sudden someone comes out from the Michelin star restaurant and says, our head chef has came down with the flu. We need someone to fill in. Okay, listen, I'm making mac and cheese, all right? I'm not equipped to be a head chef in a Michelin star restaurant, right? Like, let's be real. But some of these people on these Facebook groups think that they're that Michelin star chef, and they're like, I can do this. And they throw an answer out, and it's the equivalent of mac and cheese. Stop doing that. It is horrible. And I've got so many receipts to back this claim up. From just last week, someone came to me and said, Luke, my garden is like suffering. All of my plants are super yellow. I don't know what I'm doing. I said, okay, let's start from the beginning. What have you done? I don't have context. You gotta fill me in, because it could be a nitrogen problem. It could be a watering problem. It could be a soil compaction problem. It could be a stress problem. Like, fill me in on everything. I need to know the timeline. And they said, well, my plants were starting to turn yellow from the moment I put them in the ground. They really have never grown since I planted them as a seedling. And they started out so green, but the moment I moved them into my garden, they turned really yellow. And I said, okay, well, that's getting me someplace. Can you show me what your soil looks like? And they showed me a picture of what their soil looked like. And I said to them, why, your soil has a lot of wood chips in it. Did you originally was that like a mulched area that you turned into a garden or something like that? And they said, no, I went on to a very popular Facebook gardening group that's got a little over 1 million members in it. If you're on Facebook, you're probably already a member of this group. And they said, I asked people what I should do to start amending my soil to get ready to plant. And I got a lot of people saying because my soil was not quite, it didn't have a lot of organic material in it, they told me to put wood chips in my soil. And I just about lost my crap, because this person now has taken the advice of people that were absolutely well-intentioning, but knew nothing of what they were even talking about. You never should ever, under any circumstances, till in wood chips into your garden. Sure, use them as a mulch, absolutely. But if you till wood chips into your garden, they will rob or sequester nitrogen, because the bacteria in the soil use the nitrogen in the soil to break down the carbon in the wood chips, causing you to have a nitrogen deficiency, which is why your plants will suffer. But this person just caused themselves potentially 2 or maybe even 3 seasons of headache, because they went ahead, followed horrible advice, and then cost them the entire season, all of the time, all of the money, all of the emotion of getting the garden started, just to have their plants suffer because they could have been given accurate information. Where was the, hey, throw some compost down? Or where was the, hey, maybe you should use some gypsum to break up that clay a little bit, add some compost, and then maybe see where your garden grows. Maybe apply a mulch layer on top to break down slowly over time if you're gonna go a no-till garden approach. There's so many things that people could have said. And also the burden doesn't all fall on the bad advice, because I'm sure there was good advice. I'm sure there was. But it's which advice, when you give advice, sometimes someone's gonna pick your answer, sometimes they're not. And that's the nature of giving advice, is you have to be sure that when you're giving advice that someone might pick your answer. Someone might like your answer more than the other person's that was correct, and you've just sent them on a wild goose chase to failure town, and their garden sucks. And I don't want to say you're to blame, but if you give the answer and it's wrong information, you're kind of an accomplice, at least, in the garden failure. Or what about when someone posts a picture online of their tomatoes with a rotten bottom? We all know that's blossom end rot, or we should at this point know that's blossom end rot. Well, they say, that's blossom end rot, and that's correct. And then I see the horrifying after answer, which is, add eggshells. No. Yes, blossom end rot. No eggshells. Eggshells are not the right type of calcium. They take 3 to 6 months to break down into the form of calcium that your tomato plants need, which is well after the fact when they're going to need it. They need it right now. And why they don't have the calcium is not because the calcium is not in the soil, it's because of inconsistent watering. Where was that answer? But yet you have all these beginning gardeners putting out on their Facebook pages, I'm looking for eggshells for my garden. If anyone has some left over, save them. I'll come up and pick them up at your house and apply them in my garden. And then they have boatloads of eggshells in their garden, and it doesn't actually fix the problem, or it does, but it's because they got rain or they started watering more consistently, and since the water is the vehicle for the calcium to get into the plant, the eggshells are sitting there just being eggshells, but the problem resolves itself, and all these beginning gardeners say, aha, it was the eggshells. And then they spread it online to all these other people that then think the eggshells are the solution, and it's not the solution. It drives me absolutely crazy to see these people that are well-intentioning. They are so well-intentioning, you guys. And I'm not faulting you. I'm not faulting me when I was younger. I'm not faulting anybody for being well-intentioning. It's just the simple fact that we need to know what we are saying as fact. Regurgitating something is not an excuse. You can't say, well, I saw that online, so I'm saying it now. How do you know that that's fact? You can't just regurgitate. And actually, whole different path there. So many people regurgitate lots of things that they see online or see on the news or see. It doesn't mean that it's fact. You can't just say that. That doesn't mean that it's fact at all. And I think if as a society, we just realize that communally, if we just stopped regurgitating stuff we see online or see out, that unless we know it as fact, we've tried it in our garden, we understand the how and the why about it fully and truly, we don't say anything at all. I think that is a trait that even I am still working on today in a lot of aspects of my life, where I am well-intentioned and I want to help someone out, but there's nothing wrong with letting someone that's more knowledgeable take the floor. There's nothing, you're not earning any social credit by answering a question. I know it makes us feel good inside, but we are actually contributing to a system of a lack of knowledge and a lack of accurate information when we try to earn some type of bragging rights or award, or just try to help someone out and make yourself feel good. Because when you're doing that and you don't know all of the facts, you're actually setting someone up for not only learning the wrong information, but potentially just failing outright altogether. And I think a lot of this could just be solved by, like I said, answering a 100 question test. Maybe that's not even the solution. Maybe that is not the maybe that's not the answer. But that's just two examples. I could go on and on and on. I think I'll finally, I'll end with one more just to kind of prove my point. I like 3 strikes you're out policy. So I saw this person. They came to me, and they said, Luke, I had a really bad Japanese beetle problem, and I sprayed my plants down, and I sprayed them down with soapy water. And to my horror, my plants just completely died. What did I do wrong? And I said, well, first of all, you sprayed them down with how much soap? And they said, yeah, I mean, I used probably about a tablespoon of soap into a pump sprayer. I was like, okay, way too much soap. Way too much soap. Like, we're talking way too much soap. Second of all, when did you spray? I sprayed them, afternoon on my lunch break when I was off work. I thought, oh, you didn't spray them during the heat of the day, did you? Yeah, yep, they did. So not only did they spray them with a concentration of soap that was way too much, they sprayed them during the heat of the day. And where did they find this information? Well, a Facebook gardening group that said spray them down with soapy water because they breathe through their skin and it'll kill the Japanese beetles. Oh. Anyways, so yeah, long story short, I think there needs to be a severe reduction in information being given online. I personally think that Facebook gardening groups should maybe be banned altogether until we can find a solution to this, because honestly, there's a lot of good information out there, but there's a lot of people that are making mac and cheese in a Michelin star restaurant as a fill-in chef, and they probably should just be sitting at the table enjoying the meal. Stop trying to answer everybody's question if you don't know the 100% answer. And that goes for me too. That's why, like I said, there's 10 to 12 videos you don't see anymore because the information was garbage. And I'm okay to admit that. When I first started out gardening, I wanted to please everybody. I wanted to answer every gardening question, and that's just not realistic. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. If you agree with this, let me know in the comments box down below. Let me know some of the crazy garbage that you've seen out there, maybe disproving some stuff that you've seen, or maybe parroting this. It's so widespread. I mean, it goes farther than just Facebook gardening groups. I've seen content creators just regurgitating information. I've seen people on Instagram making reels and just like, oh my gosh, it's so widespread now that it's almost a monster that's just eating itself. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all learned something new. I got to get back to weeding these peppers out because they're a little bit weedy. But that's okay. I'm almost done. and they're gonna be great. They're gonna be growing happy after that. And yeah, if you have any advice for my peppers, let me know in the comments box down below how we can keep the weeds down. And we'll catch you guys all on the next episode. I'm just joking. I love you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.